But yeah, where we last left off, the big revelation. 34 hours into the game because all the other segments have been disconnected stories that don't mean anything. That's what the bummer is like, it's weird that in a span of like 33 hours that we've been playing this game, like the first part of the game feels so long ago when it really hasn't been. It's only been like, what, 5 days at this point, 6 days. 6 times 4 is 24, so not really 6, like 8 days at this point that we've been playing this game. Excuse me. And I mean, yeah, I guess it was technically a week ago, but in the overall story, not a lot has actually happened. I don't know. I mean, I guess it has, but it's all been disconnected. It just feels weird to me. Where the hell are we? I see all kinds of trees around here I don't recognize. Is there any hope for us ever getting back to Mahag Sar? Beef. I've had to survive a lot of death around me to get to where I am now, both as a slave and on my own way to this place. Both as a slave and on my way to this place. All I want now is to live the rest of my days in peace and quiet, so please don't cause any trouble while you're here. Well, dude, I gotta tell you, trouble is what we're good at. Trouble isn't working, and that's all we're good at. Please, just lay some eggs already. I want to eat something other than fish for once in my life. Jeez, I mean, have they never laid eggs? Are you sure they're girls? Hens? We get by here mostly on fishing and what few fields we're able to cultivate in the village. Sometimes we hunt and forage for fruits in the forest too, but that's a risky proposition, so we can't afford to go there as much as we'd like. Interesting. Once you escape Pelagian, you have to cross through marshlands, waterfalls, and forests before finally ending up here. The only thing left after that is ocean. There's nowhere else left to run, so if the Renans ever find us, we'll be in real trouble. If you make it through Shinefall Woods and then go past Aurium Falls, you can see Pelagian out in the distance. Although, just thinking about seeing that castle sends shivers down my spine, so it's not exactly a trip that I recommend taking personally. It's like you never really get an idea for, like, what the geography of this place is. Like, you only ever go to disconnected areas. Like, you never see, like, a continent or a landmass. This harvest looks like it's growing nice and healthy. These are going to taste great once they're ready to be eaten. Don't just make food without asking. Don't just take food without asking. Sorry, our crops are a vital resource that have to be shared with everyone here. I've never met any Donans before that didn't originally escape from Pelagian. You're not going to ride us out to the Renner, are you? Just making sure. No. No ratting out here, sir. Well, let's start the arduous task of chatting with party members. Tried looking everywhere for him, but I can't find Mahavar. Damn it, why do you have to be the only one to have to go down with the ship? Oh, poor Mahavar, I only knew him for 2 minutes. Are you one of the refugees from Pelagian? If so, I need to warn you about something. Our village is secret. For everyone's safety, don't do anything that could extract any Renan attention, alright? It's extremely important. Excuse me, sorry. Good, I don't see anything here that's spoiling or poisonous. It's important that we inspect everything we eat here carefully. There are no doctors or medicine here, so one wrong move and we'd be in trouble. Well, let's go.
All this time, I thought it was the worrying about Shion and the pain bringing you down. I didn't realize you were lonely too.
I guess all of us are. In one way or another.
Yeah, but you've only just found out. I mean, no, not found out. Remembered.
To tell you the truth, I was actually beginning to forget I'd even lost my memory in the first place. Now that it's returned, well, you can see what I'm like.
I wish I could just forget it.
It's strange. When I think about Lenegus, it still feels like it was only a year or two ago that I was there.
300
but
years.
Then I realized what feels like years was actually centuries ago.
What about your hometown? Do you know if it's still there?
I doubt it. When the Renans invaded, the world as I knew it changed overnight. Even if the place is still there physically, I expect the people will be long gone. Certainly everyone I knew, at least. My family, my friends.
Yeah,
Hardcore.
I know how that feels. I have no home to return to either. No family waiting for me. I used to curse my bad luck that I'd ever been born a mage in the first place. Otherwise, if I hadn't, maybe my mother and father would still be alive today. Although if that had been the case, I guess I'd probably still be just another slave with no means to resist. I'd never have met up with you guys, that's for sure.
Have you learned to embrace your powers yet?
Nuh-uh. I resent them a little less than before, though. They've kept me alive this long, right? I try not to think about it too much. After all, who can predict what the future will hold? I guess what I'm trying to say is that with everything that's happened in your past, finding out you're the Sovereign and all, it's no wonder you're conflicted. Heck, honestly, I think anyone would be.
Rinwell.
First it was Shion, then it was me, and now it's you. All of us suffering, just because of some power we never even asked for.
Yeah. All this time you were suffering right in front of me, and I never even knew. I feel like I finally understand what you and Shion were going through.
You couldn't have known. Still, if you want to make it up to her, shouldn't we hurry it up and rescue her already? Poor Shion must be lonely, all by herself wherever she is.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get going.
I was in love with her ancestor from 300 years ago. Take it from me, it's really hard to be all alone. Well, you don't say 17 or 16-year-old child. I guess Dohalim's up next.
You're certainly full of surprises, aren't you?
Trust me, it's not intentional.
Sorry, that was insensitive of me. Though, there's still an awful lot I wish I could understand. Every new piece of information seems only to yield further mysteries. The truth feels just as elusive as when we first started. I am well aware of where you got your powers. But why, as a Danon, do you bear the same crest as the current Renan Sovereign? More to the point, why choose a Danon for their Sovereign in the first place? And then there is the Maiden, a figure so powerful, she's playing yin to the Sovereign's yang in esoteric ceremonies. And yet, I've never even heard of her. Then again, this all occurred 300 years ago. What if the term Sovereign doesn't even hold the same meaning as it did back then? Listen, I may be a traitor among my people, but I am still Renan, born and raised. I learned the same history, listened rapt to the same tales. And yet now I feel like there was little truth to any of it.
Speaking of which, there's something else that I remember from the spirit channeling ceremony. It used the Renis Alma.
You're certain?
Yes. Or at least that's what they called it. Only you would know if it was one and the same.
Oh, I have never laid eyes on the real artifact myself. And you never participated in a crown contest. You're not even Renan. Many mysteries lay buried in these 3
just pour
centuries
trash.
past.
3 centuries is more than several lifetimes. Was I really out that long?
Well, I'm only estimating based on historical record. But all
That's
the
about
facts
3
would seem to point
lifetimes,
that way.
if you get lucky.
Who the hell am I?
If I may be
I don't know.
frank, we have even bigger fish to fry than that. By comparison, the far
Excuse
more
me.
important question at hand is, just what does it all mean?
Frank,
How are we gonna deal with fucking Volrime?
Sometimes
That dude's
we need a
indestructible.
little help in addressing the truth behind our pain. Not to compete over lives lost, but I suspect your count is still somewhat beneath mine.
Thanks for lending me an ear. And sorry for being a bother.
Please, no thanks are necessary. The quicker you get back on your feet, the sooner we can all get back out there.
You know, we've known each other for all of 3 days, so it's only fitting. I got to readjust the volume. So the first 11 minutes of this episode is gonna be a little louder than it should be. It never fails, but you know, it's okay. Mistakes happen. Life bottle. Sea bream. He's violating the sea breeze. Nothing. Okay, we already talked to these clowns over here, so. The coastline up ahead is swarming with Zoogles. I won't stop you from going, but don't bring any of them back to the village. Oh, I won't.
What do you see out there?
Zoogles. Strays by the looks of it. We unwittingly disturbed their territory on our way here, and now they're looking pretty riled up. So, feel like you're making headway? You know,
I don't know.
sorting through things?
All I know is Shion
Excuse
needs
me.
our help. As for what happens after that,
I just don't know.
Say, how did you get back down here from Lenegis anyway?
I came down in a Renan starship. I have Naori to thank for that.
What happened to her? Did she come with you?
She stayed behind. Just as I wanted to get back to Dana and my people, Naori's place was with her fellow Renans, performing her duties as the maiden. Neither of us asked for the power or roles we were given. I suppose we felt a kinship with each other in that sense. But
That'd be a
Inanna-
weird twist if
Wait, so you mean it wasn't just Danans like you that Lenegis abducted?
Shion
You're
turned out to
saying
be
they
his daughter,
forced
huh?
Naori, one of their own, to serve against her will as well?
Even within Renan society itself, there exists a hierarchy. I don't think she was ever given the option to refuse. Despite that, she did everything she possibly could to serve her people. The very same ones I ended up slaughtering. And even after that, she still helped me escape back to Dana. She stayed behind on Lenegis to help any of her people who survived. I owe her more than words can express. A debt left to fester for what? 300 years? How do I even begin to make up for something like that?
In all honesty, you don't. You can't atone for what's happened in the past. I don't think anyone can. Be it several centuries ago, or just yesterday.
What are you saying? That I might as well give up?
I'm saying you don't have to be a white knight in shining armor. Back after
Oh,
my brother had passed away, it was you who told me that his dream lived on inside me. And you did the same for him, for Dohalim, when he was ready to give up too.
did I do that?
You
I
were
mean,
there
it's
for
just so
both of
fast,
us.
you know.
You know what I heard? I heard you telling me to keep fighting, to strive no matter what.
Then I was out of line. I had no right to ask that of you.
No, you're wrong. Those words were exactly what I needed to hear at the time. In fact, I would go as far as to say that I wouldn't even be here had I not heard them. Left to my own devices, who knows when I would have been able to pick myself up. Besides, it's not like killing all those people was a choice that you made of your own free will, right? The truly terrible ones are the people who abducted you. The ones who forced you to wield that power. They're the ones you should be blaming. Not only that, but that guilt you feel inside, that's all the proof you need to know you're a good person, Alphen. Do you understand? If I'm still allowed to fight and keep on living, then damn it, Alphen, so the hell are you.
Yeah, okay.
But if you're still not convinced, then ask yourself this. What is it that you've really been fighting for this whole time? Go on, ask yourself.
What I've been fighting for, huh?
I just don't know. Jeez. This, like, fucking first grade writing is, like, annoying. So the hell do you, Alphen? You really saved me back there. Oh, there's this whole other area around here that I didn't even realize. See, I thought this was an exit. I guess it technically is, but thought mayhaps it led somewhere else. Let's talk, Elfin.
Alphen, are we gonna go rescue Shion or what? What's gotten into you, man? Aren't you worried about her?
Do I even have any
She's
right
totally
to be...
into you.
If you were in my place, you'd say, to hell with all that. What do you want to do?
Sounds like me. Pretending I have all the answers is kind of my forte.
Come on, man. Snap out of it. This isn't like you. Look, I get it.
He had a fucking
You
Luke
finally remember
revelation
your
where he went
past,
from
only to
being,
feel like you've lost yourself again.
I don't know.
You're in
It
shock.
wasn't as bad
and
as
who wouldn't be? Worse
base
still,
Luke.
You blame yourself for what happened. And yeah,
But this
I don't
Debbie
agree,
Downer thing that he has
but
going
that
on
doesn't
is
mean
kind of
I don't
annoying.
understand either. But here's the thing. None of that's got anything to do with Shion.
I guess.
Doesn't it?
It's about Naori, isn't it? Look, you're still here, aren't you?
Barely remembered who
Who's to
she
say
was.
This chick isn't alive and kicking out there somewhere too. Fine, I've said my piece. The thing is, though, where does this leave Shion?
You're my brother, Hubert.
My power consumed me once already. I left behind a path of fire and destruction. And the same thing could happen again. I can't guarantee anyone's safety, including Shion's.
So you think we might get burned up because of your sovereign powers? I can think of worse ways to go. Come on, fight this thing! What happened to the guy who talked to me after my dad died? The one who cared enough
He
to
never
reach out and
existed.
That's the guy
I'm just
I
so
was proud to follow.
conflicted.
Not this faltering imposter who's taken his place.
But this is the
No,
real
I'm
me.
serious. What's gotten into you, man? Just give me the word and I'll beat some sense into you if that's what it takes. Now I'm gonna ask you this once and only once. Are you serious about rescuing Shion or not? What's it gonna be, Alphen?
What do you think? Of course I want to rescue her. Hell, I'd do it right now if I could.
So then quit griping and do it already!
Ah!
Listen, you're probably right about all this.
Alphen.
It's exactly like you said. Whatever happened in my past has nothing to do with Shion. But there's still so much that There I go again. So much for the inspiring Alphen of old.
He could be a pain sometimes. Besides, even a hero has to let the cracks show once in a while, right?
It's part of your character
I guess you're
development.
right. Just give me a little more time to fill in the cracks. And thanks, Law.
Hey, don't even mention it. You've totally got this, Alphen.
We haven't spent
Believe me.
enough time with each other to warrant any of this. Like, little throwaway,
Back
like,
to the inn, I guess.
scenes at the campfire does not replace hours of game time with the characters spending time and joking around with each other. Like, this is not earned, all this bravado and shit. Like, in the grand scheme of things, we barely know each other.
Alphen! There you are!
What is it?
Zoogles, that's what! They're almost at the village gates!
Any closer and they'll be house hunting. I knew we shouldn't have cut through their territory.
I had no choice.
That sounds bad.
But I'm afraid because I can
No
feel.
shame in bowing out if you're not up for it.
Kisara's right. You don't want to go overdoing it.
I'm up for it.
Really?
Fighting is all I've known
You
until
ready?
now.
As ready as I'll ever be. It's now or never, right?
Alphen, right! Great to have you back! Now let's do this!
You know, it's not like spending like 30% of the game with your two best friends from your village and then finding out that they're half-elves. And there's like a giant stigma against them. Like, none of this is earned, and it should be earned, and I should care. Like, that's why I'm annoyed. Come on, Alphen! Snap out of it, man! I mean, I've only known you for like a week. But I know you're better than this. And it's like, do you? Do any of you? Because it certainly doesn't feel like we know each other.
Look sharp, people. If we don't act fast, they're going to get into the village.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, Kisara has to be in the party because she's the only other healer we have. As, okay, so she's already here. No, wait, no. Sorry, Law, but you can get out. As much as I love you, my dude. Your fighting style, at least. Your personality is like whatever, because again, we barely know you. I think it's the things from the
Remember,
arena.
if the pain's too much,
We've all got our own pain to deal with. I'm done letting others pick up my slack.
Here they come.
Yeah. Hey, there it is.
We can't let
That's the good old battle
anyone
music.
through.
There's a firm
Oh, I'm not used to having Rin while I'm left.
Let's get to work then.
Used to having,
is it hot? Just back it out again.
I can carve through
I'll
armor.
be saving this one.
used to having Dohalim over there.
Stand back. I'll trip it out.
Bloody howling.
Be my guest. Take this. It's over. Dragon swarm. Severing wind. It's over. Eat dirt.
In here. Going in.
Here I come. Dohalim. In an instant. Impact block.
Blah, 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 blah.
Take it.
In here.
You're finished.
I'll be saving this
Try harder. Regeneration.
Tiger Blade is all there.
Try harder. Now. You're mine. Shockwave slash.
How about this?
We did it. Shockwave slash. Hold nothing back.
Can I even use the Mystic Art anymore?
It's over.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I need the magic sword.
You're finished. Armor won't save you.
Lightning
Shockwave slash. I'm ready.
Dohalim.
Without the blazing sword, I don't have a Mystic Card. Kind of lame.